Okay, this is, getting pretty deep into madness. At least in the zombie town, UK. I have to run away from this place. I have to take a ticket home. But before I do this, one person is gonna go off the list, potentially. She collected 2 bananas already. She's on the edge. Rebecka, you wouldn't guess that would happen to her, but yep, she got bananas. From the other Powerpuffs, meaning that there's a potential 3rd banana to throw her off. Or I was just foolish, as she says, in her own words. And she was just silly. Okay, well played, well played. Anyway, I'm leaving. Leaving back to the future. That was the whole point, right? The Great Divide is back. Alright. Yeah, she was one of the most inspiring people after the new year to actually start this resolution, so to speak. Again, everything in the heart matter, because you will not find black magic anymore, at least. There's a few Harry Potter references that I can still hold on to, even though I don't give a fuck. Now, this is interesting. My house number back home is 7. And Sabrina Carpenter just came out of nowhere and took the spot out of nowhere. It's the most, I think, vicious takeover ever. Like, someone can actually impress me after all this time. And the number 14, if I'm not wrong, belongs to the Twilight Princess, right? So there are 2 vampires that still gonna crawl around, but Rebecca Black is probably not gonna be the Powerpuff anymore. Her card will be stolen by the 7th girl. Who would have thought? She has the golden card for 7. She might still be around, but not be around to hold the title number 4, which is again one of the Powerpuff titles. It's just magical. Finally, we got some magic going on that I can appreciate. 2 vampires waiting for me to suck blood for all this stupid shit that I've done here, but then I have to consume back home because my mom is probably a bubble as well. A big ass bubble in my life. And I just pop them bubbles. I love that shit. I just learned something new, right? So, the bubble people, they love to show higher emotions. Every time they're challenged by our emotion, they will show higher emotion. You're sad, they're sadder. You're angry, they're angrier, right? So they want to overwhelm you in that emotional game. My father wants to overwhelm an ego game. So if I ask a question, he wants a completely different question to be talked about. And me answering all his questions, and me giving him all the planning and everything. And it's like, whoa, that is disgusting. So might as well uncover. Yeah, so he's playing ego game. If I'm showing some ego, standing up for myself, he shows more of it. And it's like, I'm a winner. This is fucking stupid, right? Both parents are trying to be winners against their own fucking child, meaning that they never actually wanted to have a child because it doesn't actually serve their purpose. They just wanted to be better in life against someone. That is disgusting, alright? That is not love. That is vicious competition. If you cannot control yourself and you show higher level every time you feel challenged, and the only thing you have is that, pure element. If you become a pure element, you might as well turn into sand, or turn into stone, or turn into water. Just that. Just stop being pure element, or you're gonna kill yourself instantly. Am I pure element? Because I have to question myself. What is the earth element? What is the purest earth element you can find? Probably smarts is what earth is concerned about. Is like, I'm smarter than you. Every single time you do something, I will always be trying to outsmart you in some ways. I'm not exactly sure. I do feel that way. I can't stop myself from being smarter. But one of the most disgusting things is that it doesn't work. I can't take conversation. I can't take anything out of this. So if I was bullied and I am automatically a bully for some reason, I don't know. So that's probably the perspective that I have to look through. It's sort of a bullying perspective. If someone comes up to me and I'm like, am I always going to try to outsmart the person? Well, no, I'm actually quite silent, right? It's still somewhat outsmart-ish to be silent, but I want to teach people, not just overwhelmed with my ego or overwhelmed with my emotions. I don't want to do that. I want to teach them if I, in fact, have something to teach. And it is certainly a thing that I have to learn and contain, and it's a lot of work, but I can't say that I'm smarter than everyone. However, I am intentionally smarter than everyone, because I do in fact possess that element. So you cannot just give up completely as well. It's just, it must not be out of place, right? It's not like I had plenty of places to actually prove myself, besides being bullied by both parents and now the third leg, whatever that person is that created a double Joker team against me, which was the wind person. What does the wind person does? He is just self-destructive. Wind people are self-destructive. Whatever you say doesn't really matter because they live in the past. Nothing really matters, right? Unless you're really strict on what you're talking about. They're gonna tell you their own stories, their own fucking heartbreaks. They're just the most broken people there are, and you can't really catch them. Because they're wind people. They will always dodge your problems, basically. They will never actually want to help you properly. Because whenever they're helping, they're just talking about their problems. They're seeing opportunities within you, right? They're seeing as vampires, that's all they see, is that you're moving. I'm gonna take that wind, right? I'm gonna use you as an energy to push myself forward at the same time. Take opportunities that you're taking, basically, if there are such. Something like that is not exactly sure. This emotion and ego is very nice. Well, smarts, very nice. So this should be like the fourth thing that, fits very easily. So what is it? Is age, experience, out-experience someone. That could probably very much be the case. Out-experience. It's like, oh, I know what's gonna happen, so do this, right? Oh, I know. That sort of behavior is pretty nasty indeed. In fact, every authority figure has this behavior. Oh, I know what's gonna happen when you do this, But they don't quite know. They only want to intimidate you, and knowing is, out-predict you, out-control, something like that. That's what wind creatures want to do. They possess intimidation, but They possess control, right? So, okay, water wants emotional. What is that? You compete with someone, you want to be better, you want to be outdo emotionally, okay, outdo emotionally, outdo mentally on earth, outdo the charisma on the fire side, and outdo the control on the wind side. Now, we have to question one thing, is when is it appropriate to compete in the first place? Because there are two things that you can do, is outdo someone or feed them of the resource that they need, right? So this is quite interesting. I want to make sure. So you can feed a person emotions and you can make them feel good, right? So if they you can only emotionally feed wind, right? So if you water, you can only feed wind. So if you want to make someone feel good, you want to make the control type people feel good, right? Because the controllers are going to be controlled better, more efficiently, and more lovingly. You know, they will spread their powers accordingly instead of be greedy, right? So as you can see, that you can actually feed properly into the system. The control types can feed smart people, so they now find their own place and maybe even capable of splitting themselves or enhancing the control that someone has back to them, but in a way that, you know, is efficient to them in terms of learning. Or they just, again, find their own place, even if the control type has to give up control over that person, which is totally natural because you always bump into them. If you're trying to control a rock, you're just not gonna be able to do it. But if you're gonna give up control to a rocky person, an earthy person who stands his ground, if you're gonna give up that control, that all of a sudden you're gonna see him moving, right, and doing his own things, and you can learn from that. You can even take his resource because it evolves. It's almost like a share of resources happens. As long as you're learning, you give up resources in order to learn, and that, you know, splits the resources most of the time because you see what happens, right? So you feed into yourself, you feed into the environment so that you learn how to feed into yourself. It's pretty magical. And then the other move you can make is from earth to fire. That would be going, okay, I'm smart, but if I'm smart, I can do things efficiently, I can do things fast, and I can claim ego, I can claim charisma because I'm better than other people, right? But if there's someone already good, you can actually feed them the missing parts of how to improve themselves, right? If I find a singer, I can say, I can maybe write a book or write a song for them and maybe improve on their, you know, style, or just give opinion that would work, right? Because I'm smart or whatever. So you feed into the fire, and while you're feeding into the fire, again, you're learning about that other person who you're feeding, right? So this is why I'm stargazing most of the time, because I'm actually trying to almost feed them and feed myself at the same time. It's pretty cool stuff. Stars do, in fact, have to have high charisma by definition, right? So it's totally natural for me to feed stars and sort of at the same time be a little bit greedy because I'm not getting much back. It's not like I'm actually directly feeding them. I'm missing most of the shots, and I don't know how to live life at this point. But I can still at least hang on to the idea that I'm doing this correctly, and if it did happen, I am at least prepared, right? I'm at least properly doing this. I've tested this. Even though I've thrown into imaginary fire, it would still make me as I'm doing it into imaginary fire, as I'm throwing my resources, right? It still makes me more charismatic. That means it works, right? Because I'm doing the same thing to myself as I'm doing to the environment. Even if I miss my shot in the environment, I can still try to recreate it within myself, and it worked. It does makes me more charismatic. It doesn't mean that it makes me more pure. I think purification happens from fire to water. It's where you purify yourself, where your charisma actually burns out into fine resource that you can feed the earth, but not the earth, you feed the waters, things that make up crystals again, that feeds emotions, the right emotions, right? That creates emotions. So if you create super amazing music, it creates amazing emotions at the same time. And if you even know how to actually present yourself, present your charisma, just the best stuff, right? Who creates the best crystals in the world right now is the question, right? Who is the most truly charismatic for a good reason person? Yeah, these are the 4 elements. They work very, very well if you learn how they work. I don't think anyone knows that, because people should be talking about it left and right, about the 4 elements over and over again, and making sure that everyone knows. The whole communities should be fucking, it's supposed to be religion, haha. Jesus at least should have mentioned that. But hey, I get this gift. I get to be God in some other universe, and you're not welcome. But hey, for the last part of the video, I'm gonna double check if Rebecka Black can actually go over the Sabrina Carpenter in power level. I'm kind of curious right now, because she's gonna get the last banana if she can't do that. And then they're gonna switch places, meaning that again, Sabrina is gonna be one of the highest 4 elemental girls in my list. So that's that. Okay, she's already at 12.0. 4 more steps. She's breaking her record. But hey, that might still not be enough to defeat Sabrina. Okay, something interesting. The last crystal skull was for Skyrim, right? That's what I dedicated her for. And she unlocks Dragonborn language, technically allowing her to become Dragonborn. Not bad. Thought she was gonna summon a dragon, but you can summon a dragon because already else stole the superpower. What else if the most intimidating superpower belongs to the best vampire so far? Okay, Rebecka. Let's keep going. She's at 12.8. She haven't used the Dragonborn powers yet. I think it's over. She gets 12.9, but I think she has no chance to recover from this, so say bye, Rebecka. Sorry about that. Okay, I got the most awesome song, which is Alien, right? Cool. I'm just gonna test too young, because she is in fact too young, right? Exactly. Alright, she is in fact very young. Although 4 years, like, whatever. I bet there's... Yeah, let me double check, because I could just be stabbing myself in the back. For example... 3 years. difference. Cheerier's different. Yeah, I don't even want to do this, but... So I have to stab myself in the back, right? Oh shit, I didn't say age. Oh shit. Yeah, I don't want to do that one. But she's a Powerpuff and probably, you know, gonna find someone more fitting. I don't know if age matters that much, but it could. Just not sure exactly what it means. Sometimes people come back to life and feel old. I don't know. I love this part of the song, by the way. Shut the fuck up. Because it always looked like Rebecca, right? And now she's like, whoops. Get wrecked. If she actually completes her pilgrimage, of course, of beating Rebecca in the first place. I guess I'm running out of time. It's gonna be a long exploration. The funny thing as well is like your favorite colors under the light. It's like that's the only time I actually saw her wearing pink, which is very specific police type of color. Heart police, by the way. Color code of... Hey, I'm kind of lonely here, but I policed everyone around me so far. So no one can actually get me. It's one of those Sakura types, right? Cherry Blossom. Unstoppable powers. Anyways, that's what I'm expecting, but 12.9 is pretty high. I don't know. Let's see what's gonna happen in the next not episode, because what the fuck is this stuff?